Hello and welcome to New Mexico Rising. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to talk to people from across the country about things you could do right here in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
No pun intended, right?
Oh, no, never on this show.
What's the average payout from the Tooth Fairy? I love this statistic. Now, nearly all parents look to the Tooth Fairy to help fill their children's piggy banks.
There are things that you can do at every level in the national parks. That's what I love about it. It's like when we go and we bring our kids, you know, there are hiking trails that are a little bit easier for them, or viewpoints if you don't want to hike at all.
When workers feel that, they feel a greater sense of control in their careers. And if they feel a greater sense of control in their careers, they report.
When I was 7 years old, I was having really bad leg pains, and it got to the point where I'd wake up in tears from the pain. And
all of that and more right here on New Mexico Rising. Are you looking to wow your guests this spring with something sweet? Whether it's a backyard brunch or a fancy dinner party, dessert is always that big finish. And if you do it right, it's what people remember the most. And joining us from the kitchen is pastry chef Eleanora Lahud, sharing her favorite spring cakes and the baking essential she swears by, that is baker's sugar. Welcome to the show, Eleanora. How are you, my friend?
That's correct. How are you, Dan? Thank you for having me today.
Hey, I'm doing better now that you are here to share the sweets with us. Sometimes I get a little sweet tooth. I know I'm usually salty, but today you're bringing out the sweet in me, all right? Dessert, it's always stealing the show. What do you think why do you think it's such a big deal at gatherings?
I think we all wait, we go through a meal, Dan, just to have dessert, right? I think it's part of the preparation of that dessert. Someone puts so much love and anticipation on that dessert that when it gets to you, you really can feel it. And today I'm going to share with you two beautiful spring desserts, and you can prepare them for spring or for upcoming Easter. I have a beautiful strawberry cake here with me and a princess cake. So are you ready to start baking?
I'm going to struggle through it and do the best I can, all right? I hear that you got two go-to cakes this season. What makes them like your favorites, and what's your trick to try to get them just right?
Well, I'm going to share my secret. It's not only my secret, it's many pastry chefs and bakers know these. So baker's sugar, it's the key to success in your desserts. So we have our new Easy Baking Tub for CNH baker's sugar, but this is the key because it has an ultra fine grain size that will aerate batters much better because it will provide a better cake at the end. It will be silky, it will have a velvety texture, and it will increase volume. So this is a secret that I'm sharing with you today. Not only for me, from other pastry chefs to boost all your bakes. It's great for fillings, for meringues, for frostings. It's a game changer in your kitchen. So I'm going to walk you through the strawberry cake. First, you have to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and flour and grease some cake pans, 3 cake pans. After that, you're going to dry some freeze-dried strawberries. So this is going to give that strawberry taste that we really like. After that, you're going to mix some milk, egg whites, and almond extract. It's a little flavor extra there. Set it aside. And then the key to success, my secret ingredient. You're going to mix CNH baker's sugar with the freeze-dried strawberries that we pulverized before. You're going to add some flour, baking powder, and salt. You're going to add butter and mix together, and you're going to alternate the milk mixture. When it's ready, that batter is going to look very fluffy because of the sugar, and then you're going to divide it evenly into the pans. Bake it for around 25 minutes. While the cakes are baking, you're going to prepare a delicious strawberry cream cheese frosting. For the complete recipe, your viewers can go to chsugar.com and you'll find the recipe for the princess cake, for strawberry cake, other recipes and tips and more information. You can get our CNH baker sugar at King Soopers, Smith's, Walmart, any other local retailer, so you can buy online now.
So what are your top tips for using baker's sugar when baking at home, though?
Yes, of course. So you're bringing the professional grade ingredients home. So some of my tips that I give people to bake at home, it's number one, you have to have patience. Don't rush it. Find the best ingredients that chefs and professional chefs like me, we use in our kitchens. That will be CNH baker's sugar. Find very good ingredients, find a good recipe, and just start baking.
So what makes Domino or CNH baker's sugar different than like regular sugar? And why do you think bakers love it so much?
I'll tell you why. Because you can, the ultra fine grain size, you can't find that in any other sugar right now. Our product, it has a beautiful ultra very small grain size. It's not like powdered sugar. It's more like granulated sugar, but very, very ultra fine granule. So it will give you better performance in all your bakes, all your cakes, frostings, creams, meringues, anything that you use it. Your friends and family will be able to tell the difference.
Eleanora, you are so sweet. Where can we go for more information? Get some baking inspiration.
No pun intended, right?
Oh, no, never on this show.
So you can go to chsugar.com.
Eleanora Lahud, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Dan. Take care. Bye-bye.
Did you know childhood cancer survival rates have significantly improved over the last 40 years? It's grown from 10% to over 85% today. And it's a huge leap forward with groups like Hyundai, Hope on Wheels, who help make that possible by supporting pediatric cancer research. Here with us is John Guastaferro, Executive Director of Hyundai Hope on Wheels, and 10-year-old cancer survivor Jackson Trinh, who's also one of their national youth ambassadors. John, Jackson, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about how many kids are affected by cancer and why research makes such a difference?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, every 36 minutes, a child is diagnosed with cancer. But as you mentioned, the survival rate is going up every year. So that's encouraging, you know, that it really is the hope in our name, Hyundai Hope on Wheels. And we're investing in research every year predominantly so we can help drive that survival rate higher every year.
And over time, how has treatment for pediatric cancer changed?
Yeah, you know, I mean, when we started doing this work in 1998, the survival rate was, you know, rising. It was about 58%, and now over 85% and growing. So our doctors and researchers are telling us that they're finding new advances in cancer biology, new drug treatments, clinical trials, less invasive treatments for kids. And those are some of the numerous ways that we're making a difference.
And what is Hyundai Hope on Wheels, and what are your goals for this year, especially with the work in Canada and Mexico?
Yeah, you know, Hyundai Hope on Wheels is a nonprofit corporate foundation. We started in 1998 where two Hyundai dealers got together, made a donation to a local hospital in the New England area. And now all of our dealers, over 850 of them, are involved. So every time a Hyundai vehicle is sold, a portion goes in the corporate foundation. And then Hyundai Motor America also makes a partial match to that. And that enables us to give a significant amount of money to invest in research. This year, our largest year ever, investing $27 million in grants. Our lifetime total has surpassed over $277 million over the years. And as we grow, we realize that childhood cancer is a universal issue. It's not just the United States. So we're replicating this model in other countries. We launched Hyundai Hope on Wheels in Canada in February, later this month in Mexico, and other countries to follow after that.
Incredible. Oh.
Yeah.
Jackson, you're a survivor and now you're a youth ambassador. Can you tell us about your journey and what this role means to you?
Yeah, so when I was 7 years old, I was having really bad leg pains, and it got to the point where I'd wake up in tears from the pain. And when I started getting fevers, my parents just took me to the hospital. They took me to UNM Children's Hospital, where I was diagnosed with B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It was really hard, and this role means a lot because I get to share my story and spread hope around the nation.
And where can families go if they want to learn more or help support kids with cancer?
If people want to learn more, they can go to HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. And John, you want to tell them what they can get from HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org?
Yeah, if you're happy to share, if you go to our website, you can make a donation if you'd like to help us do more. Write an encouraging words of hope on our virtual hope wall. Be connected to our social media as well and help us spread the word and be a great advocate.
John, Jackson, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you ever feel like you need to hit reset and get outside for a little bit? Well, you're not alone. National parks across the United States saw over 330 million visits just last year. So if you're thinking about fresh air, wide open spaces, and maybe even a little hiking, this is the perfect time. Ash Nudd is America's go-to park expert. She's a former ranger turned hiking concierge for Worldmark by Wyndham, and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes. And today, she's helping us plan the ultimate national parks getaway. Whether you're a seasoned hiker or just bringing the kids along for the views. Welcome to the show, Ash. How are you?
Thanks. I'm doing well, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing the best I possibly can. That's all I can say. Let's start big, all right? What kind of crowds and experiences can people expect if they're heading to like a national park this year?
It's no secret that the national parks are super busy. A lot of these national parks have started putting in reservation systems to kind of manage those crowds. And so if you're going to a park this year, you definitely need to come with a plan. It's not something you're just going to want to wing when you get here. There's definitely things you'll want to be paying attention to right now to prepare for this upcoming summer in the parks.
And for folks who have never hiked before, or maybe families with young kids, what's the best way to ease them to a national park trip? And I'm laughing because I'm terrible at it, even though my dad worked for the Forest Service for a very long time.
You know what? You just got to choose somewhere to go and start making it happen. There are things that you can do at every level in the national parks. That's what I love about it. It's like when we go and we bring our kids, there are hiking trails that are a little bit easier for them, or viewpoints if you don't want to hike at all. But if you want to tackle one of those bigger trails, there are definitely those out there for you too. So just choosing where to go. And then I have been helping people plan trips to the national parks professionally for 10 years. And so I love helping people, especially people who have never been to a park before. That's really exciting to just pass that on to another family.
And a lot of people think visiting a national park means tents, RVs, little beasties trying to steal your picnic baskets. What are some of the other options that travelers who want maybe a more comfortable stay, or let's say glamping?
Yeah, well, so where you stay when you visit the national park is one of the most important decisions you can make to really cut down on those crowds and the traffic issues that a lot of the parks are having. So you can stay in the park. For us, a lot of times I do want some of those more amenity type places. And so we'll go into the gateway towns that are right outside of the national parks. That's actually why I've partnered with Worldmark, because they have resorts right outside of a lot of my favorite national parks. And they do have those amenities like the pools and the in-room laundry and the kitchen and everything like that. So you can have fun in the parks, but then you can also relax when you're done for the day.
I kind of like the idea of a hiking concierge. What exactly does that mean, and how does Worldmark by Wyndham kind of fit into all of this?
Yeah, so I've partnered with Worldmark. We've been partners for the past 3 years. And basically, if you book one of their resorts that are right outside of one of these national parks, some of my favorites, then you'll also get my help in navigating that national park. So I have hour-by-hour itineraries that you'll get a discount on for the national park that you're staying next to. It's really nice because it does all the work for you. You just need to stay in a really nice hotel, and then you get my help to go through the park as well.
All right, Ash, where can people go if they want your park guides to help plan a trip for everyone?
Head over to extraholidays.com/hike and put in the code HIKE for 15% off your stay at a Worldmark resort near a national park.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Ash.
Thank you for having me.
Do you ever feel stressed about money while raising kids? A new study from Ameriprise shows what's causing the most pressure for parents, like saving for college or even how much to leave under the pillow from the tooth fairy. Here to walk us through the findings is Deana Healy, Vice President and Certified Financial Planner at Ameriprise Financial. Welcome, Deana.
Thank you for having me today.
Can you tell us what the new Parents and Finances study found?
I can. We know that parents are faced with a number of competing priorities that pull on their wallets and their heartstrings. We wanted to understand more about that. So we talked to over 3,000 American parents to understand their questions and concerns and about money as they raise their kids from age newborn to age 30. One of their top financial concerns they identified was the trade-offs they were making today and how they might impact their future financial goals. Now, some of that is tied to the fact that many parents, over a third, identified the need to feel like the perfect parent.
What's the average payout from the tooth fairy?
I love this statistic. Now, nearly all parents look to the tooth fairy to help fill their children's piggy banks. The average payout per tooth is $5 today. Now, while this seems fun, and it is, it's a great opportunity for parents to start to teach their children to make smart financial decisions, because now a child has some money of their own and they can say, do I want to spend this today on a treat like a game or a candy bar, or do they want to save it and save it along with their allowance for something in the future? It's a perfect opportunity to help kids understand that those trade-offs between a current reward and a future delayed gratification, a future goal or opportunity.
What are some easy ways parents can help their kids learn about money?
So, in addition to this idea of thinking about what to do with their allowance or the money they get from the tooth fairy, the thing that I think is most important is to start to have frequent, open and honest conversations about money with your children. You can do that in an age-appropriate way. So as an example, if you're talking about how to think about that $5 from the tooth fairy, that's appropriate for a little kid for sure. But then age-appropriate for your children who may be in high school is to start to talk about what the expenses, say, of college might look like. What are all the things that they may have to spend money on, like tuition or room and board or books? And then what are the resources they can bring to bear, whether that be scholarships or working on campus or college loans or the money that parents have set aside themselves. We know that parents, nearly half of all parents in the study identified that they had started saving for their college education by the time their kids were 5, and 1 in 10 had actually started saving for a college fund before their kids were even born. So all of those things, being open and willing to talk about money, I think sends the message to kids that it's important and okay to talk about money, and it's important to think about what's most important to them both today and in the future.
What can families do if they're feeling pressure about money?
I think the thing that I find most important as a certified financial planner myself is to start to enlist the support of a financial professional like an advisor. Parents can then talk about what's important for them. What do they want to see? What does retirement look like for them? And they can work with an advisor to put a plan in place to take the perhaps constrained resources that they have today and make the best decisions they can to set themselves up for future success. And in fact, the parents that we talked to, nearly 9 in 10 said it was very helpful to talk to an advisor as they think about making decisions about their money in helping their families, helping their children, setting everyone up for future success.
Where can people go to learn more or to get help?
Thank you for asking that. I would recommend folks going to ameriprise.com/parents. They can find information and tips about raising financially savvy children, as well as finding an advisor who would be right for you to start to have that conversation.
Deana, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Are you feeling stressed at work? A new report shows more Americans are burned out, and many don't feel in control of their future. It's all part of the 2025 Optimism Index from the University of Phoenix. Joining us is Dr. John Woods, Provost and Chief Academic Officer at the university and the founder of their Career Institute. Hi, Dr. Woods. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on today to talk about the Career Optimism Index. Appreciate it.
Can you tell us what the Career Optimism Index is and what it found this year?
Yeah, this is an annual survey that we conduct each year. And the idea behind it is that we're going to survey American workers as well as employers to identify some of the trends that are happening in the workforce. Importantly, we can also spot some of the differences between those two groups in terms of perceptions of the career prospects that workers have. And importantly, this year, we've identified some things that maybe are a little bit concerning. The number one thing is that workers are saying that they feel a loss of career control. And that loss of career control is contributing to increasing feelings of burnout. In fact, 51% of survey respondents say they feel burnt out at work, which is a record number for that this year.
What can bosses do to help workers feel less burned out?
Yeah, we think that burnout, again, comes from that lack of career control that people feel. And we feel that lack of career control can be addressed with employers paying greater attention to upskilling and reskilling their workers. So there's a tremendous opportunity here. Perhaps upskilling and reskilling already exists, and workers just need to be more aware of it. If it doesn't exist, that's something for an employer to really focus on, especially with workers reporting in overwhelming numbers that they're ready, willing, and able to engage in such training and development. In fact, 71% of workers identified that they are fully aware that they need to improve their skill sets in order to continue to be productive at work. So there's the opportunity, is to provide better training, upskilling, and reskilling for workers. When workers feel that, they feel a greater sense of control in their careers. And if they feel a greater sense of control in their careers, they report that 34% would be less burnt out, and as a result, more likely to stay.
How can companies give people more control over their jobs?
Yeah, a big resource we're hearing about these days that can be leveraged is artificial intelligence. AI can be leveraged to very quickly and affordably create training materials that workers would engage in. So training doesn't have to be expensive now with tools like AI. Another thing people can do with AI is put that directly in the hands of the workers. Workers are articulating to us that they're interested in these technologies. We believe that AI can make people more productive, feel more engaged, might even lead to a better sense of work-life balance. And all these things contribute to solving the burnout problem that we're seeing.
Where can we go to read the full report?
Yeah, the full set of results, including all the insights that we pulled from the Career Optimism Index, can be found on our website at phoenix.edu/career-institute.
Dr. Woods, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Enjoyed speaking with you.
When you think of Cinco de Mayo, do you picture chips and salsa and just pretty much call it a day? Chef and best-selling author Pati Jinich is here to help us take things to the next level with a little history, a whole lot of flavor, and dishes that actually tell a story. She's the host of Pati's Mexican Table, and she's teaming up with Eggland's Best to share some incredible recipes from her own kitchen just in time for the holiday. Welcome to the show, Pati. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm good, and you?
I am suffering from allergies. I'm doing my best to go from one day to the next. The struggle bus is real. Yeah,
I hear you. We have allergies here in DC too.
I see that. All right, let's kick things off with a little context. What's the real meaning behind Cinco de Mayo, and why do you feel that it does matter?
Well, it does matter. I think most people think that Cinco de Mayo is Mexico's Independence Day. It is not. It is an occasion where we celebrate a battle that a small Mexican militia won over a really big French army way back in 1862. But what's important is that it becomes, since then, a symbol of resilience, of pride, of cultural strength. And it's important to know that it's become the main celebration for Mexicans and non-Mexicans alike to celebrate Mexicans around the world. I think it's celebrated more outside of Mexico than inside of Mexico. And it's just an occasion where we can be proud about our culture and our food and share it with the world.
And it's true, they won, but not just you won a battle, they They won with like really terrible tools. They had shovels, they had pickaxes, they had sticks and clubs. That's all they had. They still beat them. All right. I love the history of that one. All right. A lot of us default to like party snacks like chips and guac. Can you, but I know you're all about storytelling through food. How can we do that for like our holiday spread?
You know, I really think the kitchen is the most noble place to share our culture and our stories. And Mexican cuisine has a treasure trove of dishes that we can tap into. Of course, chips and salsa is great. Taquitos are great, but there's so much more. And using ingredients that you already have at hand that are nutrient dense, high quality, like fresh tomatoes, fresh avocados, beans, Eggland's best eggs. You can make dishes like these that are festive, accessible, nutritious, filling, and just easy to whip up.
So what recipes did you make for us today, and like how do they tie into the spirit of the holiday?
Okay, well, here to my right, I have one that I wish many people would try. These are migas, but these are guajillo migas. They come from the state of Guerrero, and they're very easy to put together. You just throw tortilla chips in a pan, scramble, beat your eggs, your fresh eggs, throw them over the tortilla chips. And once that begins to set, you add a guajillo chile sauce that's very easy to make. And once that cooks in less than 5 minutes, you dress that with cilantro, with queso fresco, with crema. Migas is like a version of chilaquiles, but with scrambled eggs. It's just irresistible and delicious and festive. And then I also have my take on deviled eggs. In Mexico, we love deviled eggs as well. And here I season them with two of Mexico's favorite condiments, chipotle sin adobo sauce, smoky, sweet, spicy, and the briny, tangy pickled jalapenos. Top that with a piece of bacon, a piece of pickled jalapeno. They fly off the plate. And then, of course, a tres leches cake. My favorite version is marbled with dense chocolate, soaked in a 3-milk sauce, topped with whipped cream, grated Mexican chocolate. You can make these ahead of time. You can think of these as Mexico's version of tiramisu. It's festive, it's decadent, it's delicious. And I use Eggland's best eggs to make all of these dishes because they're just superior. They have 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat compared to ordinary eggs. And they just pack a punch in flavor and nutrients, and they elevate the food that I make at home.
So I'm curious, what does Cinco de Mayo look like at your house? Do you have any like special traditions that you absolutely love?
Yes, Dan, it looks exactly like this, but with a lot more food and a lot more people. And I take requests from my boys. What do they want me to make for their friends? And it's really about connecting through food and culture.
And for the people at home who want to cook up some of these dishes, where can they find like the full recipes?
Egglandsbest.com. You can find these 3 recipes and many more.
Pati Jinich, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
And that's it for New Mexico Rising. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, just email me. That's newmexicorising@gmail.com. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We also have a website, newmexicorising.com. And we have a YouTube channel. Check it out at NM Rising. And until next week, that was New Mexico Rising.